Hi friends, welcome and welcome back. I'm JJ here at Budget by JJ. I'm a millennial based out of New York City, and I am on the road to financial freedom by using a cash-based budgeting system. So if that's something that you're interested in following along, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to go ahead and do a budget with me for my first paycheck for June. I hope you all have been having a wonderful June so far. Obviously, New York City is just under a complete, I would say, fandomonium. They are jazzed up for the Knicks. Obviously, we had that one game that didn't go so well. By the time I'm recording this is like, I think, game 5. So this will date this video for sure. Outside of some unruly sore losers, overall things have been great, and it's just been a wonderful time to celebrate as New Yorkers. I personally really don't care about sports in general. I'll have a team, I'll rep a team. At the end of the day, I have no skin in the game. I do not use Kalshi, I do not do any betting markets, I don't do any of those sports betting, so it's not for me. It also has been extremely muggy. It feels like a swamp outside. I've been blessed to be in my very cool office. I'm like, just rain already. Get it over with. Anyway, I had a wonderful time at the Greenwood Cemetery for that short film festival. It was really emotional because of the subject matter. It was about people in the relationship with death or mortality or loss. So having an open bar to that event definitely had you feeling a bit vulnerable. It was really cool because I got to actually converse with one of the directors of the short film, relate how I enjoyed it and what I was able to identify out of it. She was so sweet. She gave me a hug. Her cast of actors are like some well-known people. You probably might have not know them if you haven't watched anything really niche. They were like really working actors that I definitely recognized. That was really fun. This weekend is Brooklyn Pride. I'm very excited for that. Again, I just want it to rain and get it all outdone. Like on come the day of the parade and festival, it's just not as great. It's not ruined by rain. I think it rained a little bit last year. I mean, again, hoping that doesn't happen. It don't matter. We'll still be outside. Let's go ahead and get started. Once again, I'm a little unprepared. I do apologize. This is boo-boo nasty. It's not really pristine. I need to print off more of those budgeting sheets. I've just been terribly distracted at work. At the same time, I have been making headway in clearing through some inventory, getting things ready. I actually want to prep all my inventory at work and get it nice and organized and ready to go because I am still job hunting. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that I am looking for other work or better pay work because, again, like I was saying, we have this budget. The only way it can accommodate more savings and the ability to tackle other pressing matters is by increasing the income. I have been on the lookout for new work. I've actually been exploring different career paths as well. I've also come to the determination that I will need to have gone back to school to complete my bachelor's degree. That's something I just had not been able to do. I think when I was a dance instructor many years ago at this point, over 5 years now, everything, all the certifications, all the training was in-house. So in my mind, at the time, I was preparing myself to eventually go owning a dance studio. That was my path before the pandemic happened. Post-pandemic, I've just been working interesting jobs. I worked at FedEx, was my first job back post-vaccination, which was different. That was not FedEx like delivering mail, like FedEx working at the airline, FedEx Express. My job was to take packages in these tin barrels and transport them across the tarmac to other depots or actually lining them up to get transferred into the airplane. I had certifications to work inside certain type of planes. It was something completely random and different from anything I've ever done in my life. It was a job and I needed money. I had already gone through the process of seeking assistance from the city and getting plugged in for my rent and SNAP and all that good stuff. Again, the city really did help me out here. I sacrificed some time in some very questionable transitional housing. Post that, as I was getting burnt out at that job, I was able to apply to another job at a law firm as a law clerk, working on a team for 2 attorneys and a paralegal. That set me up to transition to my current job, which is office administrator at this law firm. based out of here in Brooklyn, which I've been at now for almost 5 years. Let's see, November 2022 to now, where we're in June 2026. So we're almost there, which is crazy. And I'm super grateful. A lot has happened within that time. I've definitely been comfortable in the situation I am, like day by day. Yeah, this is my new normal. This is what I do. Really not planning for like bigger and better things. Literally, I was telling my friends and family, I'm in my cruising era. I'm just chilling. I'm on autopilot. A lot of that has to do with how I was processing the trauma from the pandemic. Just a complete upheaval of my life in the sense that where my identity was tied to my work. I was a dance instructor, I was a choreographer, I was a competitor, like all those things in a span of almost a decade where it just overnight just completely turned upside down, like for many people. So getting this job and not having something so demanding like the work I had prior, I definitely was getting comfortable and settled in and not really looking to the future. I met my partner, things started to continue to progress there. Now, 3 years later with my partner, it's just like, well, what's the next move? The next move should be, we should consider purchasing property. We should be considering bigger savings, talking about retirement. We have aging parents. Those conversations are all coming to the fact I'm no longer a 20-something, living it up, making terrible life choices. Now it's like I'm in a new phase in my life. Now I have a new goal, new ambition to achieve the lifestyle that I want to achieve despite the terrible economic political situation we find ourselves in. I wholeheartedly believe that we are going to get past. Because of that, I want to not give up on myself. I don't want to give up on opportunities. I've just been doing some self-exploring. Getting the life coaching certification was definitely a good booster. I've done a lot of work to not be so nihilistic and like just in despair, like the whole what's the point mindset. Now it's like I need to shift gears. Really said, no, you have an opportunity here to level up. And that's what we're working on now. We all have plans at the beginning of the year what things are going to look out like. Then life happens and you're like, okay, so the budget just adjusts with where you were at in life. Do I have 3 months worth of savings? Absolutely not. And that is unfortunate because as you can see here, there is a section that it just keeps on beating on. I need to learn how to go without. I don't have to satisfy every whim. I've been collecting since the beginning of the pandemic, really hardcore collecting, like really getting into it. Kind of training myself out of that has been really hard. I have been picking up things here and there, but like I said, I have done blitz shopping where I'm like, I'm not going to do any shopping. I have a no-buy for June. If I just bought a bunch of stuff in May, I'm still factoring that in June. I'm paying off what I purchased in May. Is it really a no-buy? If I'm just paying off past debts, I have to get past this, and I know I will. They just keep coming out with cute stuff. Why are they targeting me? I literally have like 4 mini backpacks right next to my feet right now, which I'm like, this is crazy. The storage unit that I got is to accommodate taking my stuff out. My partner could comfortably live here as well. Not just looks like my place, it looks like our place. We are going to get there. I have full faith that that's going to be successful. That being said, so I am a month ahead on the rent. We're getting into this now. I am a month ahead on the rent. Let's see here. Sorry if this is not translating around. So here's the rent here. Let's count this out. I have 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 850, 900, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, $917. This is my half of the rent for July. So if I was to budget out rent for this paycheck, this would be the first half for August. We're like in a territory that's way ahead that I've expected ever to be. Now, that being said, that's super fun to be like a month ahead on rent. You're good to go. I actually am not good to go because the spending has outweighed the savings. That is a problem. Essentially, this rent this time around, the $460, is going to go to my high yield savings account. It's 4 100s, 150, and a 10. I just think that's the quickest way I'm going to recoup the losses of my extreme spending habits. It is extreme. The amount of items that I have here unopened around me is crazy. Nobody needs all this stuff. Do I have a level of regret? Absolutely, because I would rather be more closer to my end goal than struggling and picking it back up again. You know, that's life, that's human nature, things happen, and it's not an excuse, it's just an explanation. We really are doing the best that we can. I have to find other ways to get dopamine hits rather than adding to cart. At 460, we'll go to the high yield savings account. I'm not gonna even worry about it because the next pay period will be the first half of August's rent. Okay, so I'm still ahead by 2 weeks. So I'm grateful for that. The utilities are next. They're gonna come out to $100. That's just 100. That is gonna be the second half of the electric and the internet. Then we have subscriptions. It's gonna come out to $80. So it's gonna be 150, a 20, and a 10. That's made up of the CapCut, Cloaked, Amazon, The New Yorker, Netflix, and the storage. I also did end up purchasing AMC Plus, but with that, it was just $30 for a year-long subscription. They had a promotion, so I had paid that already separately, so that won't have a recurring bill. You can see the Vampire Lestat, okay? Highly recommend to watch. It's so good. The first episode of season 3, which is Interview with the Vampire. Amazing series, an amazing adaptation of Anne Rice's work. The season premiere did not disappoint by any means. Next we have the groceries, and that's going to be $310. So that's going to be 200s, 250s, and 25s. I gotta set aside $50 for the emergency fund. Now I have been leaving these 50s in the binders. I have not touched them, and that's been working out. Again, I do have other money in the account for the high yield savings account. Again, the return is not that major right now due to inflation, so I'm not really losing out on anything. Now we're going to get into the debt binder. We're going to start off with the Chase. We have a combined total of $260. That's going to be 2 100s, a 50, and a 10. That's made up of $110 going towards the Freedom card and $150 going to the Chase Sapphire. I will say that these credit cards are pretty high up there. They're not completely maxed out. They're not anywhere close to being paid off, which is unfortunate. I haven't done any debt confession. I was talking about it a long time this year. It's not going to be anything worth note because paying off debt is not the primary goal right now. So these are just the minimums. The interest is really what's preventing these from coming down. Again, not been the priority. It really just has been keeping things kind of even. I'm just breaking even, not making any huge progress. I shouldn't say even, I should say maintaining. Then we have a combined payment going to my Capital One accounts. It's going to be $53. That's going to be a 50 and 3 ones. That's making up of 25 going to Quicksilver and 28 going to Saver. Again, bare minimum. Then we have Fortiva, and that's going to be $69. That's going to be 150, a 10, a 5, and 4 ones. I actually got a credit increase on this line here. That was awesome. That definitely helps. Next, we have the Savings Challenge. We're going to go ahead and set $50 aside. Y'all, I really do love my Savings Saturday series. I know it's just roll and save right now. I have a bunch of other scratch and saves ready to go. We'll get into those closer to the holidays because they're so decorative. That's going to be 5 5s and 25 ones. The third biggest expense this pay period is the pay in fours. We have $278 worth to pay this time around. So that's going to be 2 100s, 50, a 20, a 5, and 3 ones. Breakdown for that is $137 to Klarna, $64 to Affirm, $14 to Zip, $33 to Afterpay, and $44 to Sezzle. I like having stuff. I don't like having stuff to pay off all at once, apparently. It hurts to make a lump sum payment, but these paying for is like out of sight, out of mind. Like, oh, it's just a smaller amount. As you continue on, it's like, oh, Queen, you spent some money. You spent nearly $300. Like, multiply that by 4. Like, come on. That's crazy. That's how they get you guys. As of now, the paying fors are the main factors of that's holding me back. Keep saying that. One day it's gonna settle in. Honestly, it has to clear out because I need to free up that money, not only for savings, but now for tuition, because I do plan on going back to school to finish out my degree. Hopefully, maybe I can start that this fall. That's super soon. If I can secure the financial aid and some other programming to like reduce the cost or cover the majority of it, I can make it work for this fall. If not, it's going to be for 2027. That's fine. And I'm just trying to get through to September. There's a really big thing happening personally that is occurring at that time. I haven't really been able to think about anything else. Once we get past that hurdle in September, then you'll probably see me a little bit more at ease, because until that's taken care of, I'm just been a ball of nerves. And I think that is also playing into why I keep buying things, because I just have a layer of anxiousness, because if that situation doesn't go well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't say too much because it's really personal. You know, it will affect my relationship. I don't want that to be disrupted by anything or anyone. I just ask that, like, you're a person that does pray, like, to keep me in your prayers. You don't even have to know the specifics. Like, know that I would take all the positive energy that y'all can send my way for success and grace and justice for when that event occurs. That is all I'm going to say about that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add this up. This is coming out to $1,730. Again, the math is not mathing. It's frustrating. It's really just off by $20. What's happening here? How come this and this are not matching up? I probably did miss something somewhere. It'll work out. Either way, I know that I'm over budget, meaning my threshold is $1,700. Even though I had a pay increase, I definitely have a buffer. I generally just like to keep it there at the $1,700 mark. I don't like to go over. I have been spending like gangbusters. It's not surprising that I'm over, because I'm actually trying to pay off some stuff that could be due later because of where they fall. The date is kind of wonky. I don't want any late payments of any sort. So it's not $100 over, and it's not like under at all. So we're fine. And again, I do have a buffer there that will accommodate this. That's going to be it for the June paycheck number 1. Thank you for being here. I hope you continue to have a wonderful June. Hope that y'all are staying cool. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support means the world to me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone you think that might like it. Be sure to have that bell notification set to all so you're notified for future videos like this one. I will see you in my next video, which will be the cash stuffing for the first paycheck for June, officially. Till then, bye!